Hello my dear students. Today I am going to teach the topic column chromatography. This is a useful method for the separation and purification of both solids and liquids. This is actually an LSC technique, that means liquid solid chromatography, in which the mobile phase is liquid and the stationary phase is solid. Then we are moving to the principle of column chromatography. The principle is completely based on differential adsorption. That means the rate at which different components gets adsorbed are different. Then here I already mentioned that the stationary phase is a solid. In column chromatography, the stationary phase used are column of adsorbent. The usual column of adsorbents used are silica gel, alumina gel, calcium carbonate, calcium phosphate, starch, magnesia, etc. Then we are moving to the procedure of column chromatography. Look at this diagram. Here the adsorbents are packed in a cylindrical column and this is the stationary phase. Either these materials are silica gel or alumina gel, or in the absence of silica gel and alumina gel, we can also use calcium carbonate, calcium phosphate, etc. Then the mixture or the compounds which is to be separated, it is dissolved in a suitable solvent and it is allowed to introduce at the top of the cylinder or top of this column. Then the bottom of the column, it is plugged with a piece of porous disc. Then the mixture is allowed to pass through this column. I already mentioned that the principle is completely based on differential adsorption. So the rate of different components are different here. So according to the adsorption power, the different components gets adsorbed at different rates on this column of adsorbent. The components which is having stronger adsorption power will be adsorbed at the top and others will be adsorbed at the bottom of this column. Okay. Then next step is we want to desorb all the components attached to the adsorbent. This process can be done by the addition of more amount of solvent. The process is called elution and the solvent used is called eluent. Actually, elution means dissolving out the adsorbed component from the adsorbent by using sufficient amount of solvent. Process is elution and the solvent used is called eluent. So the different components or the one which is strongly adsorbed, that can be eluted very slowly, and the weakly adsorbed components are eluted very rapidly. So the different components get separated at different rates. Finally, the distillation or evaporation of solvent from these fractions, you will get the pure component. Then we are moving to the application of column chromatography. Actually, this is a separation technique. So we want to separate organic materials from the plant pigments and all. We can also use this method in organic polymer synthesis to separate out the compounds. At the same time, we can use this method to separate or purify naturally occurring materials such as alkaloids, glycosides, etc.